So, hey everyone, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. This is our semi sort of annual holiday podcast we're doing.
Yeah, yeah. End
And
of the year.
yeah,
Looking forward to the new year. And
definitely, definitely.
we kind of slacked off this year. We took a lot of time off because we were both so busy with other projects.
Yeah,
Um, and then a big project that we hope to do through the podcast. We're working on I don't want to get oversell it, but we're working kind of on a documentary about a special person that I've known for a long time in
hmm.
Hollywood. And so we'll see how that goes. And so we're working on that too.
Just like
And
with anything in Hollywood, it's all it's not a sure thing, right?
and it takes time. It just takes
Yeah.
so long to get things finished because you've got a lot of people involved. So you're trying to get
Hmm.
everyone, on the same page and all that. So
That's
anyway, hopefully
true.
we hope we're aiming to have that out early next year.
Yeah,
Um,
we have some good people involved, and with a little luck, this will get done.
yes,
I
hopefully.
had to pick up some shooting duties, which, I'm not the best,
You did good.
with my iPhone.
Yeah, you did good.
But
There's some live concert footage, which
yeah,
was really amazing. So,
yeah, with
yeah,
some really cool people. Yeah.
I think it'll be neat. I think it'll be interesting. And then we're still, if anyone that watches a lot of our videos would know we really don't have a theme or a kind of one road we're going down. We do a variety of different topics according to what interests us and um our friends, the
I
people
know. That's
we
what
know.
I was saying to Kelly the other
Yes.
day that one of my friends said, I really enjoy the variety of your topics. And I had to laugh because we're constantly saying, we
Yeah.
got to focus on one thing. But we're like,
Well, we're always told you don't build up your subscriber base unless you focus, in one area. And we just have,
mm,
we're doing this, partially for us, for our own self-satisfaction. We don't think we're going to become rich and famous from this. So we're, wanting to feature our friends and talk about topics that interest us. So
mm,
we are open. If somebody has any ideas that they would like to see more of, please let
true.
us know in the comments and we'll address it if it's something that interests us too. But yeah, I think we're happy with the way things are going. And the fun part of doing a podcast is you do it when you can and feel like it, and you don't have to do it if you don't want to because you're not being paid for it. And
Yeah, that's true. And like you said, it keeps us, we want to do a forward trajectory we want to keep this train going, but we did slack off a little bit this year
yeah.
because Kelly bought a place and I was focusing on a lot of music stuff, and I got to travel a little bit. And one thing I wanted to say that I'm really, because, I'm trying to practice this gratitude thing of just, being really grateful for, all the neat jobs that I had this year. I did some voiceover work for Netflix, which was like my first time doing that. And I'm hoping that I get to do it again. And, I'm grateful for the work because it's been a precarious, crazy couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now things are opening up, and then again, things are kind of in LA though, that we're kind of like everybody's worried a little bit about COVID again, but I'm just,
Mm.
I'm out there doing my thing.
Yeah, COVID put a damper on everyone and everything. I guess you're not supposed to say it because YouTube cuts
Oh,
the
oh, that's
videos.
right. Okay, so
So I
what do
might
we
have to
call it?
bleep us out or whatever.
Yeah.
The that bug. I saw one guy, he did a video and I thought it was so cute. He called it the beer bug.
Mm,
Beer bug.
the beer bug. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
remember
thought that
that.
was
You're
cute.
right. That was
No,
my
it's cute.
mistake.
Um,
Um,
but anyway, we're not worried about that.
yeah.
Whatever. Um, what else? Yeah, and I had a really busy year trying to think what I did.
Well, mostly it was your house, buying your
Oh yeah, I
house.
bought a house. So yeah, that was it. That was, and I'm still like, gosh, just fixing things up the way you want. And I'm trying to uh tailor it exactly to how I want. I like everything convenient and easy and
Sure.
fix things so that it's the style and the design is laid out for my lifestyle. So yeah, that was why I took off the summer, huh?
Yeah.
And then work, I have a job that I really love and put a lot of time into, and then all my little side projects. So, but I think next year I'll have more time and we can just continue on with this and have fun. And we wanted to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, a happy holiday, Happy New Year.
Yeah.
And
And also what you brought up just a minute ago, if anybody has suggestions about what they like about our podcast the most, like was there certain topics that you liked the most? I know the relationship ones have really done pretty well. And at the beginning, we're like, we don't want to go into relationships, because it's so, I don't know, not trite, but it's very, it's the biggest thing that seems to be prevalent.
It just seems overdone.
That's the word
there's
I'm
so
looking
many, relationship videos out there. But when you think about it, you and I have been single, most of our lives. And we've had some long-term relationships. We've had, but we've been single. We haven't been married most of our lives.
I don't know if I haven't been married, but I wouldn't consider, I guess if that's, you're going to classify either you're married or you're not, then no, I haven't been married, but I've always been in these long-term relationships. So to me, that's, whatever.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean by married. You're not married.
Yeah, right. That's true.
Both of us have mostly been single because it's different. It's a big step when you get married that you're like
married
to that person. You own each other practically. So that's a different ball game.
It's true.
Because we've been, whatever, free agents most of our lives.
That's funny.
I think we have more experience in relationships because we have dated and had long-term relationships, some short-term relationships. And so I have a lot of different and lots of friends. I've coached many girlfriends through a bad time, a bad relationship. Been there for them. So, definitely. I think we do have a lot to say about relationships if we go that route. It just wasn't our plan. It wasn't something that was really, but if we can help people, that's really another thing. I love helping people. If I can give some advice and encourage people in any way or inspire them, I would love to do more of that. But we've interviewed a lot of authors, book authors, a lot of musicians. We've had, what other kind of guests? Musicians, authors,
directors.
We had Bitcoin. We talked about Bitcoin.
But we had a director or two, as I recall.
Yeah, in the movie industry.
Yeah. And authors, like you already mentioned, a lot of music people. And I'm trying to think of anybody.
A brain cancer survivor.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. We've had relationship experts too, and matchmakers.
Yeah. Those did well too. So I don't know, maybe, relationship coaching, because things have changed the way we have relationships, but maybe not necessarily for the good. Maybe we need to reinforce some of the things that work in a relationship. Because I think younger people are a little confused with what works. And I feel like I do feel like men and women are built differently.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, emotionally, we're built differently. That doesn't mean we don't want to evolve and change and become, I think men, should be encouraged to be more emotional. But anyway, without getting off into that in relationships, we are open to doing more relationship videos if that's what people want to hear about. I think we both have some good advice because we've had some really good relationships, solid good relationships that just didn't go into marriage. A lot of times, just because you get married doesn't mean you're going to stay married, and doesn't mean you're going to grow together. So you can still be in a relationship and grow together and have a nice, healthy relationship and know when it's time to say goodbye and wish them well before it gets ugly. Because when you get tied to someone through marriage, that's when it usually gets ugly and sometimes even dangerous. So
that's true. And some people don't know how to segue out of that gracefully. So,
well, it's not always an easy way when you're married. You've got that paper. And it is a form of ownership, it seems like to me. And that's another reason that I was just, apprehensive to get married again, because I didn't want to have that strong tie of feeling of being possessed.
And on a sad note, during the beer bug, a lot of people
I like
The beer bug at like 30%. The divorce rate went up like 30% because I have a couple of friends who are family law attorneys, and they were telling me that.
that.
I
Yeah,
know.
because
So,
you're stuck with each other. You can't avoid each other. And it's such a it's a lifetime commitment. You enter thinking you're going to be married for life. I know I thought I was going to be married
mm,
forever.
mm,
That quickly changed. But you, and no offense to him, we were both contributed. We were both really immature. Um, but then you grow and change as a human being. You hopefully throughout maybe even every decade, you become a little different. You maybe become smarter about life and want different things. And so how can we know that we want to stay with that person our whole life? So
and
anyway,
yeah, and I know some people that got married really young, like in their early 20s, and I just don't. Some one couple has survived, but most of them don't
you could say it
because
survived.
they survived. I mean, they
They
survived the
survived
marriage.
marriage. Well, I support it. I know people that got married in high school, and they've been married their whole lives, and that's all they know. So they
Mm,
grew together. And
hmm
I think that's beautiful. I think it's wonderful, but it's not for everyone. Not everyone wants that life. So that's the good thing. I think we also need to learn maybe to start the new year with a moral lesson here, or maybe not a moral lesson, but a life lesson of learning to accept,
mm,
as in America, we're supposed to be diverse and freedom for
hmm
everyone, accept other people's ways of living and other people's
mm.
choices. Just because,
That's true. Good
getting
point,
married and
Kelly.
having two kids and having a dog and a house with a white picket fence worked for you, that doesn't mean that's what everybody wants.
Right.
So,
And
and
some
just
people are
because,
not. Go ahead.
well, and some people want that kind of security and stability, and other people want adventure and they want to go off into the big city and make their way and have many relationships, because I always felt like every relationship I had introduced me to a whole new world of people, all their friends, their career, what they did. And I was just one of those people that wanted to live life as much as I could possibly live. But therefore, I am now single without kids. So, you have to have that trade-off. And I don't have regrets because that's who I am and what I wanted out of life. But a lot of people would just be miserable right now to be at my age without kids and without husband. I'm happy. But,
Well,
so a lot of
yeah,
people wouldn't be. So they
I was
made
just
other
going to
choices.
mention, though, conversely, I have a relative who, my another relative, I don't want to say, I don't want to out them, but was saying that this other relative should have never gotten married because, she had 4 kids, and she really should have never married, but back in the day when she was, having kids, that was what
Expected.
everyone did. So my point is, not everyone is meant to be married. And sometimes it's just best if you know that and just follow your path, because
Yeah.
just because society tells you should be married and have kids, a lot of times that doesn't work, for the kids too.
Yeah.
Because if your parents aren't the type that should have ever married or had you, well, that's a whole other conversation. But anyway, some people are just not meant to be married.
Well, and that's a good point. And I think nowadays we're free to make those choices. Women
Mm-hmm.
are freed up to be single. And I, I hate to say it, but I don't think you can have it all. I don't think you can have a career and be a good parent.
Well,
Unless one parent, I mean, you have to be
sacrifices a
there.
lot.
You have to be there for your
Mm.
kids. So if you're working a full-time job, you're not there for your kids.
I,
So I'm
I think you
sorry, I
can,
don't
yeah,
agree that you can
right.
have all of it, that you can have both.
I think you can, but I think it's super hard work. And I didn't want to sign up for that particular, program.
Yeah.
you know, so I think you can, but it's a big sacrifice and you have to work your butt off. So that's just my point of view. But
Yeah, I don't agree. I had a mother that was home when I got home from school every day, and I feel like
mm,
that's the way it should be. I don't think kids should come home to an empty house. And I think in
well,
some
no,
circumstances you can't help it. You go in with the intention
sure.
of staying married and being a two-parent home. And I think in
Hmm
that case, as a society, we need to support those parents. When I was managing the newspapers, I let the people bring their kids to work, like the single mothers. If there was a day the kids didn't have school that day, I'm like, bring them to work. I made a little office and we had their toys in there and the computer and they could play. And I feel like as a society, if we want to support everyone, and we care about the kids, then we should allow more of that. And I know there's some big companies that actually have playrooms. Actually,
Yes.
my insurance agent has a room with little tables and chairs and games and toys for kids for his
Mm-hmm.
staff
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
his clients. When they come with their kids, they can let the kids go in there and play. And, it's just family friendly. And we
Yeah.
claim to be such a country of family values, but then we don't really support single mothers or single fathers, parents.
Right. That's true.
You can't help it if your spouse dies, or if they're a jerk and you get divorced, or even if they're not a jerk and you just decide you outgrew them and you want to get a divorce. We still want to make their lives easier, because
Right.
people that are having children, the children are our future, and that's important. So I think we should offer support to people that do take the plunge. Unlike you and I, we both made other choices, and I think we have value too. We are contributing to
Oh
society in
yeah, for sure.
different
I
ways.
didn't ever doubt that. It's just
Yeah.
that like I said, some people are just not meant to be married, and that's just the way it is.
And that's okay. We're all different. And that's the beautiful thing about the society we've created, is that we do have these choices now, that we can live the life we really want to live. And then as a culture and a society, we get the best out of everyone, instead of pushing people into a mold and making them conform to one thing. Then we're not going to get the best out of that person. So I always, my big thing is giving every person a chance to be their best, to succeed, because then we all benefit from that. So
I think that's one of the unique things about America that I do like, is the diversity of our lifestyle choices. In other countries, they have a tendency to be a little bit more uniform, because we're not so traditional in America. I mean, there's so many different religions and ethnicities and all that. So anyway, so we want to know, though, is there a topic that you want to see more of on our podcast? Right?
Yeah, I think that's a good way to start out the year. If anybody has any ideas for us, you can even private message us or put it in the comments. We're open, and we like to have conversations. Kimbra and I, even though on the podcast we have these conversations, a lot of times we have conversations on the phone. We like to talk about life and things, and we're always trying to solve problems. And so this is always fun for us too. To share our thoughts and stimulate conversation, and we learn from each other. And
because you don't always have to agree. I try to be good about having an open mind about what the other person thinks.
Well, and now I'm in another place. I lived in California most of my life, but now I'm living in Wyoming. So that's I always share things with you. I go, yeah, what they do here, and how this is. And it's just interesting to hear. And then she tells me what's going on in LA since I left, how it's changed and different. And then we've talked a lot about the homeless population. And can I say what that you're involved with?
A charity called Partners for Hope. We have a website, partnersforhopeus.org, but we are trying to help in any way we can. We, if you go to our website, you can read more about it, but this is something we've been working on starting during the beer bug time.
Good job. And I think that's awesome that you guys are doing that.
Yeah. It's challenging, whenever you start a nonprofit, because there's a lot of work that goes into it. Sometimes they don't really start getting to go, into fruition for a few years. So we've been slowly building it up. We do everything from, we do everything from delivering food to places that are already established, to toys, to the kids in the hospitals, to personally going to meet the homeless people in Orange County and LA. And I've gone to several functions, trying to figure out new ways to do it. So we're always looking for ideas and any help. Like I said, you can go to the website and
donate. I mean, the key is raising funds.
It's true. Money.
To pay for, the things that you're going to do. And if you want to do bigger projects to actually, have an impact. I mean, helping one person is helpful.
But
true. If you want to do bigger projects that you can help more people, you need money. So you got to get benefactors.
And I have a hard time. I was telling the the person that I'm doing this with, I'm having a hard time. I have a hard time asking for money, and it's like the most important thing in this whole thing,
But when you know you're helping people, and there's
Yeah.
a lot of people that would be glad to.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's helping everyone, it's a good thing. And for a
That's
lot of
true.
people, it's a tax write-off.
That's
So
true. And I know a lot of rich people, so
remember you're
pay
doing them.
up.
Yes, hey, I'm doing you a favor. I can help you out with something.
Yeah, right.
Honestly, I think a lot of wealthy people are happy to do that and would be glad to be, on your board of directors to get it off the
That's
ground.
true.
So anyway,
Yeah.
we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, that's another podcast all to itself.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you brought that up though, because I was thinking about that today.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we want to say Happy New Year, and we look forward to more exciting podcasts with you. I don't know how exciting this one was, but
good 2023. Well, anyway, we just really want to stimulate conversation, and I feel like personally, we're lacking the ability to converse and the knowledge to have conversations that make a difference and make change. So I encourage people to do more research, think a little deeper about things. Don't believe everything you hear, and think a little deeper and try to make the world a better place. I feel like that is empowering. I remember I said to a person once, he said, you seem to bounce back from tragedies and traumas. And I said, I'm not asking for more. I've had my share. I'm done as far as I'm concerned, knock on wood. But I feel like when you overcome challenges, you feel alive. It's, as a human being,
that's true.
we are built to solve problems and overcome challenges. And the greater ability you have to overcome challenges and solve problems, I think you have a better life. It's not avoiding problems, it's knowing you can solve them. And then that builds your esteem and gives you confidence in ways you wouldn't normally have. So
yeah, it's empowering. It's empowering,
Yeah.
While you're going through it, it's horrible, but then afterwards you're much stronger.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, some things can really break you if you just have to look at it from a practical point of view. I have a friend right now mourning her dog, the death of her dog. It was unexpected. I'll tell you about it later. It was unexpected, but those are the times that have almost destroyed me, is losing my dogs. Like more than anything, any relationship, any
I remember
sickness, like literally those are the times that I thought, I'm going to die. I'm just not going to make it. My heart's going to stop beating.
I know.
My friend that's going through that right now, she's going through the same thing because it was unexpected. But then you go on and you one day look back and you go, I'm not crying anymore. I'm actually smiling when I think of that little animal. And that's life. Life offers challenges. And I guess my message in the new year is, know that whatever you're going through right now, know that you'll make it. You'll be fine. And you will see life differently. You may carry some battle scars, but you'll be fine. You'll make it. And that's what life is. Life is not supposed to be easy. It's supposed to build us, build our character, make us better, make us stronger, give us challenges so that
that's what my mom would always say. She'd always say, whoever said life was easy, or whoever said life was fair.
Well, and I think a lot of people live a safe life trying to make it easy. Like they take the safe way for everything, just whatever's easy. And there's something to be said for that. There's, you can say that, well, that's pretty smart. They didn't.
I want an easy life.
Yeah. But not everyone is built for, greater things or doing better or different or taking risks or whatever. And that's why it's okay. I feel like we're all in this together, but we want to support each other, whatever life choices we make. And, I always think of my musician friends in LA that didn't really make it big. They did okay. And they wanted, the rockers, they wanted to be big rock stars, and they never really made it big. And I always think we should have a little safety net for them because they took the chance. It wasn't that their music wasn't as good. They just didn't roll the dice, the luck of the dice or whatever. So I do feel like we should provide safety nets for people that are willing to take risks. risk takers. Like we tend to do it for business owners. We
Mm.
always, have safety nets for them. We always bail
Well,
them out.
the arts are not valued as much, but on that
Yeah.
note, I do want to say shout out to Fran Drescher and Annie Fine because I was telling you on the phone the other day
Yeah.
that I was like, she's doing great as president of SAG. Like she's doing all these things that for me, resonate with me, and I just think that's great. That
Awesome.
we just passed a couple of legislations, California, or is it propositions that support the arts in schools, and that no matter what, there'll always be funding. I don't know if it was just a California thing. I think it was just a California thing. But anyway, so she was behind that. She was promoting that a lot. And so because the arts never are not as valued as much. And when the economy goes down,
It's the
that's the
first thing they
first thing.
cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's such a great outlet for kids, when you're like, for me personally, music was just such a great outlet when you're going through frustration or angst or
It's
anything,
so part of
you know?
everybody's life. I mean,
Mhm.
the memories that you have that are invoked when you hear a certain song for everyone, like nobody's immune to that. And they say, you could probably tell me this more than I know, that music builds different pathways in your brain, and
Well, it
they
depends what kind of music, not the rock music. Even though I love rock music,
oh no.
it's more,
Okay.
I love rock music. I'm a rocker, but it's classical music supposedly is
Okay.
the one that builds the synapses. It
Okay.
helps stimulates the baby's brains and makes plants grow more. That's a theory. I'm not sure if it's been proven, but
Okay.
but anyway,
If anything, it just enhances our lives. I mean,
right,
it makes
of
our lives
course.
better and richer and prettier. So yeah, the arts are, and drawing and sculpting, and
Oh
uh,
yeah,
I think
painting,
I just
painting.
don't think people, again, give deep enough thought to what matters. Our culture is always about money. If you can't monetize it, it's useless. If you're not making
Again,
a lot of money, you have no worth. And we should stop monetizing everything and consider the real value of things, because a lot of things that, something that makes a lot of money. What was I thinking of the other day? I can't remember. And the Twitter feuds, Twitter has all this, it's made so much money. Elon Musk spent $44 billion for Twitter. And, really, what does it do to enhance our lives? I think it could be a really good form of place to communicate if we were like letting it be free and let there be free speech. But even that, like, is it worth $44 billion over music? Over.
well, I'm kind of one of those people that, maybe this is wrong, but I feel like it's his money. Let him do what he wants. I mean, yeah, I would love it if he donated it or helped musicians or actors, but that's his money. So that's how I feel about that. But
Well, that wasn't my point. It's
oh,
nothing to do with what he spent on it. Is
oh,
it that valuable?
oh,
Is
well, I guess
Twitter
it's what
that
the market,
valuable over? Yeah,
I don't
but
know.
that's always the not thinking answer, the market.
Right. Yeah.
We're letting a market money determine the value of things that maybe aren't so valuable. A Gucci purse,
Right. I
is
see what you're
it
saying.
worth that value? Well, yeah, the market says yes, because
Yes,
Gucci
whatever
has marketed to
the
be,
branding
their
of it.
name, their brand. You want that
Mm-hmm.
label, and it's
Mm-hmm.
just marketing is the only reason. Diamonds, we talked a little bit about diamonds.
Yes. Right.
It's marketing that is driving the value of products that we don't, as consumers, we should stop and think, what's the value of that? I remember asking my old boyfriend, I was like, why are diamonds so valuable? Like, what makes them so expensive or so valuable? And his answer was, because they make people happy. And
Right.
I'm like, well,
But
I'd be happy, but I don't want to spend, $10
and there's
million
a whole history of
on a big,
diamond
yeah,
mining,
De
and
Beers, and it was
yeah.
marketing. They just
Yeah, well,
market.
but what I mean is there's a whole history of really horrible things that they did to get
Right,
those
right.
diamonds.
Well, they
So,
limited the volume.
mhm.
And so and then they did marketing. And then that's why, they marketed that's 2 months salary is what a diamond engagement ring should be. De Beers did this big marketing campaign. And of course, there are little African kids
Sure,
risking
yeah.
their lives to mine these diamonds in Africa. And to me, I just feel like that's for a rock, for a shiny rock, when you can get there's man-made ones that I wouldn't know the difference.
Right. And now they're promoting that. I saw a campaign about that, these what do you call them? Fake diamonds. I don't know. Synthetic.
Pure
Yeah.
zirconia or whatever.
Which should be fine for me because I lose things a lot. So I'd rather wear the
Never wear it. I'd be like,
that's
oh,
that's why I don't wear jewelry, because I'm always like working out or whatever. And I'm like, I'm gonna watch, doing stuff, cleaning something,
Me too. Again, but see, Kimbra, you and I are more practical.
Yeah.
And so, that's me. I always like to do stuff with my hands. And,
Right.
if I had a big, gigantic rock, I would keep it in my jewelry box.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, I love having it. I like shiny, sparkly jewelry. I love jewelry, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't wear it
I know.
probably.
I have some diamonds that I actually have one in a safe deposit box, and then I have one, but I never wear them.
Mine are all in a safety deposit box. Mine are, I
Yeah.
mean, my old boyfriend gave me a beautiful big emerald diamond ring and it's locked up. I don't wear it.
I know.
And then of course my engagement ring and all my diamonds and
But getting back to your point about, the value of the arts, that's the one thing that some countries do value that, and because they see it as part of the culture. And we were talking about that too a little bit with the Nashville thing, how they value music there more, maybe in a way they value it more than even LA now, because in LA it's just about what's going to bring money. It's all about money, and culture is something that you can't buy, really.
and also I saw this Facebook post the other day that had ticket prices, and like I guess Taylor Swift's
Oh
ticket
yeah,
price
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
$32,000 or something.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
it said, the cost of a local whatever entertainment, local band, $10. And
Mm-hmm.
so, and there's some really big talent, really talented people that never made it big.
Mm-hmm.
What I was talking about a little bit ago. Why should they struggle and starve when they're just as talented? It's just they never got whatever exposed or got the right marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes it's wiser just to support your local talent.
Mm-hmm.
Or spend $10 and go see somebody locally, like you did in Nashville.
Yeah, yeah. You came to, people that came to see us. What a surprise.
Oh.
So anyway, but yeah, so we want to wish everybody, Happy New Year, and please let us know, like I said, if there's topics you want us to talk about more.
Yeah.
We're still searching.
Yeah.
So
And start the year off right. Think about, try to think a little bit deeper about what we're doing with our culture, and see, if we are on the right page, if we're doing the right thing. And I always say we're doing everything wrong, but I think we're doing some things right. So maybe contribute more to our society, by getting more involved. That's what I wish people would do, and not from just what they hear on cable news, but really give thought to what can make us a more harmonious, magical society.
right. That's a good wish for everybody.
Yes. Yes. So, all right. Well, everyone, Merry Christmas. And well, I don't know if we'll have this out before Christmas, but
we're going to try. Or at least Happy New Year.
Yeah. And we'll see you in 2023.
2023. Okay. Bye.
Bye. Bye.